Hi, this is Sarah from Hardcover Hearts. I'm here today to do a little bit of a somber vlog, and this is going out to anybody who is particularly sad on this Father's Day that we will be celebrating tomorrow in the United States. It is Father's Day, and it's also the 1 year anniversary of when I lost my father to stage 4 lung cancer. We were incredibly lucky. He went very, very quickly, and we were by his side and had a gentle passing. And he was not aware so much of what was going on. So there wasn't a lot of struggle and pain. But I know that there are many other people out there whose father's passing has not been so easy. And I wanted to talk specifically to those people on grief and on books that have helped me through my grief in this past year. One of the first books that I turned to was a book that I had read a few years before, and I think it buried in my subconscious and allowed me to draw from it as I needed in the year past, and that was Joan Didion's Year of Magical Thinking. As I was having illogical thoughts, as I was processing what it was like to not have my father in my life, I found myself thinking about so much of what she talked about how the brain plays tricks on you and has you thinking things that don't make sense, and you know they don't make sense, and yet there's a visceral feeling that you need to do something, and it's a way to stay connected or to support or hold on to your loved one. She talks about how she could let go of so many of his things after he passed, but she, for some reason, could not let go of his shoes. She said, if he comes back, he will need his shoes. She knew it wasn't logical, and yet she was compelled to not let them go. I think that book really helped me realize that I wasn't insane as I was going through the grieving process, and to just allow it to happen and to allow myself the space to go through it. Another book that I think was incredibly profound and valuable for me was the audiobook of H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. This is a nonfiction book where she talks about her process after she lost her father. And very poignant. It goes in many different directions, but she focuses on trying to be a falconer with a hawk, and the type of focus that she needed to give at a time when she couldn't really do anything else because of grief. And that was it's an incredible book, whether you're grieving or not. It's a very highly recommended, meditative, frustrating, but important book. I would highly recommend it, and the audiobook is sublime. Another book that really helped me in a way that I didn't expect was Max Porter's Grief is the Thing with Feathers. This helped because it was experiential. It's unusually written. It's not a poem, but it's written in an experimental form where a crow appears on the doorstep of a family who's lost the mother. And you really do, when you're in the throes of grief, you really do feel like there is something there that you can't control. There's an animal. There's something in the ether that's there with you. And this helped me walk through that in a very different way. I think this was a very powerful book. And then the last book that really meant a lot to me is Thich Nhat Hanh's No Death, No Fear. Ironically, I had given this book to my mother when her mother passed, as a means of helping maybe lessen or help her come to terms with her feelings of her loss. And she reminded me of that as I was packing to go home to say goodbye to my father. So I couldn't find it in the house. I know it's here somewhere, but immediately just downloaded it. And on the airplane ride back to Georgia, where my family live, I had the sounds in my ears, and as my brain was racing everywhere, it helped to provide even a subliminal focus for some of my thoughts. And I wanted to read one piece that gave me a huge amount of solace, and I hope for those who are struggling this holiday, this will do even a little bit for you. If your dear one has just died, you may have a difficult time overcoming your loss. You may be crying all the time, but look deeply. There is a divine medicine to help you overcome your pain, to see that your dear one is not born and does not die, does not come and does not go. It is only because our misunderstanding that we think the person we love no longer exists after they pass away. This is because we are attached to one of the forms, one of the many manifestations of that person. And when that form is gone, we suffer and feel sad. The person we love is still there. He is around us, within us, and smiling at us. In our delusion, we cannot recognize him, and we say, he no longer is. We ask over and over, where are you? Why did you leave me alone? And our pain is great because of our misunderstanding. The cloud is not lost. Our beloved is not lost. The cloud is manifesting in a different form. Our beloved is manifesting in a different form. If we can understand this, then we suffer much less. So I wanted to leave you with that and to ask for any advice of books that have helped you or that you know of that help in the grieving process, which is different than the books that I collected in anticipation of the event of losing my father. Things like When Breath Becomes Air, these on being mortal, these types of books I had been collecting, but I didn't have a chance to read them before the end came. So I would love any suggestions of a book that helped you, that you know of that helped, that I am not particularly interested per se in heavily religious tones, even though I'm a Buddhist, but if there's something that's of value out there, I would be interested in knowing it. So that's it. Thank you for indulging me, and for those of you out there who are missing your fathers, I send my love. Thank you.